Hey everyone, welcome in for another video. Today I'm heading down to the Goodwill Outlet, the Goodwill Bends, if you will, and it's about 45 minutes or so from my house, this particular location. I haven't been there in probably about a month now, so yeah, it's been over a month since I've been there. And I'm on my way right now to pick up my son. He's going to go with me. He usually goes with me, and he normally finds a lot of good stuff for me. He's very good with the electronics and stuff like that, so that's probably what our focus is going to be today, is the electronics side of things. Last time I looked for the clothes while he was looking in the hard goods, and I just didn't do very well on the clothes. Didn't find a lot of good stuff, but that's okay. But the reason why I go to the Goodwill Outlet is for there are actually a couple reasons, but the first one is probably the most obvious, is that you pay by the pound down there. So you pay $1.99 at this location, if it hasn't changed since I've been there, $1.99 a pound. And so obviously that's the biggest, reason I go, is because the buy cost is cheap. You can get a lot of stuff for a good amount of money, or for a cheap price, I should say. And the second reason is really just the treasure hunt of it all. You just never know what you're going to find down there. So it's kind of fun and exciting just looking through random stuff and really not knowing what you're going to find. So that's always fun. That kind of keeps it interesting anyway. And yeah, and the third reason really, again, is coming off that the first one is just to get the inventory. Right now I need as much inventory as possible. I've been hitting up, the last 2 months, I've been hitting up a lot of garage sales, and I'm doing well with that, but they're kind of tapering down. I was hitting a lot of the community sales where I have a good potential to find as many things as possible in one area without driving around all day long. And at the time, when gas was over $4 a gallon, it's not really ideal just to drive all over and hit single sales. So I was hitting up most of the community sales I would find, and did pretty well. And I'm still looking for those, but they usually taper off, and then you just kind of look around and see what you can find on the onesie twosie kind of thing here and there. But yeah, the last 2 months I've been doing garage sailing and doing well with that, finding things for a really good price. My buy cost has been really low, which really helps my margin on a month-to-month basis. And if you're new here, by the way, my name is Jeff, and I have a small part-time reselling business. And it's one of those things that I'm semi-retired. I retired from my job, my 40-hour-a-week job. I retired about 2.5 years ago, almost 2.5 years ago, and I've been doing this ever since. And I like it because it keeps me busy, and it helps me make some money. And it's a great win-win situation. I can work my own schedule, and my boys help me, and I pay them a little bit of money. It's a good thing overall. So anyway, we'll be heading down there today, get my son, we'll head down there, and I'll start getting some video inside, and then I'll show you what we're finding. It is totally random stuff, but we look for things that are undervalued, and maybe it'll give you some ideas of some things that you can find and sell yourself. So we'll see you in just a little bit. All right, here's the location we're at today with my son, and I'm gonna give this one a try. Should be $1.99 a pound here, if I'm not mistaken. Here's our pile so far. Got a few shoes I got to check out. Not too good on the clothes. Another rotation coming out, so I'm gonna go check this one out. So far, Nick is definitely outdoing me on the stuff so far. Let's see what we can find in this rotation. All right, this is what we got other than the chair, and we got a bag of clothes we'll have to go through. This is Nick's stuff. He got some electronics and some plush in that bag, and then I got a bunch of hats in here. I'll have to just break all this down, and then I got quite a few shoes today, and then a bunch of different electronics and I guess just hardware goods or whatever. So we are done for the day. Now we need to go grab some lunch. We're both hungry, tired, and ready for a break anyway. So good trip though, I think. Overall, I think we did pretty good today. We'll count it all up when we get home and then break it all down. All right, so back from the bends yesterday. It was a good trip overall. Started off, fairly busy this time when we got down there. I don't know if I mentioned in the video or not, but there was quite a few people when we got there. Normally it starts off kind of slow and gets busier, but for some reason this was a little opposite. A lot of people at the beginning, it seemed like, and then kind of tapered off and then got a little more busy as we were leaving. But overall, good trip. I did count up so far, just roughly counted 60 items to resell, and I did pay $86 for that, and it broke down to $1.43 is the my math on it. So $86 total, not too bad. And as I explained earlier in the video, that's really why I like coming to the bends. Is the buy cost is cheap like that per item when you break it down, and I can normally get a good amount of things. And again, 60 items, that's pretty good in one commute down to get that 60 items. It is a 45-minute drive for me, something like that. But rather than going garage sailing where I'm bouncing around trying to get sale to sale and may or may not find items, this is a really good alternative that I can do really any day of the week if I wanted to. But this is usually we'll try to go at least once a month, but I think actually moving forward, we really need to get down there a couple times a month at least, so I can get these bulk kind of things going. So that'll help carry my inventory for a little bit longer, and especially in the summertime. In the wintertime, still can do that, but I'll probably hit up more thrift stores locally and stuff like that in the wintertime. Anyway, we got quite a few items to show you today. And again, you have to understand that you never know what you're going to find when you go to the Goodwill Outlet stores, the bins they call it. You never know what you're going to find. And, I saw a lot of good things in the bins that I couldn't get to quick enough. It's a lot of competition, and especially in the clothes, there's a lot of younger kids that are much faster than I am, have better eyes, can think quicker, and grab things quicker. They're into the trend pieces and the vintage stuff, much better than me on this stuff. So I try to get in there when I can, and then I kind of come back around and see what some people throw back and see if it's worth it for me to grab. A lot of the clothes here that I found are just your bread and butter type items, anywhere from $10 to like $25 items, something like that. But when you're looking at $1 something a piece, I still have a good margin. And I found quite a few hats. I found a few pairs of shoes, and a lot of random hard goods, electronics, and things like that. That's what we target the most. And I tried to do that this time. My son actually did much better than I did in finding things. He's just again younger, quicker, thinks faster, grabs faster. But on the clothes side, didn't do real great. I think I had 19 or 20 items on the clothes, and some things we did keep for ourselves too. There's a few things. So he ended up getting, I think, 16 or so items that he kept for himself to either sell or keep, and then my 60 or so. So we did pretty good. Overall, probably close to 80 items together. Anyway, to resell, we'll start off with the clothes. and just show you the random stuff we got. Now these are a pair of Levi's, and when I find Levi's, I usually will pick them up if they're in pretty nice shape. These are the wedgie straight 24 women's button fly black jeans. I looked these up and they had a decent value. Again, some of these are gonna the actual sell through on some of these things are going to be pretty slow, but on some of them, but that's okay. I can sit on them a little bit, but um, I will process the order, get it going, get it listed, and then we'll just keep turning over these items as we're going. So when the bins happen, I usually get a handful of items that sell quickly, and then I make that money up from what I spent and exceed that quickly. And then the rest is kind of a slower, usually that's how it happens. It's kind of a slower thing. But the faster they sell, the better, obviously. And some of the resellers that are down at the bins, they need those quick sales. They need that like fast, high sell through rate stuff because they're probably doing it full time. I'm doing it part time, so I have a little bit of luxury to sit on some things and take some bread and butter items that are, just sitting there waiting, like low hanging fruit for me. Anyway, the next item is this is a Spider is the brand, and they are just some sweatpants, joggers, tapered leg. Not, nothing special there, but again, right hitting in that price range. Here are some Athleta women's, and Athleta does good for me in certain styles like this. They're tapered leg. They have this microfiber type material with the zip pockets. These always seem to sell for me, and I can usually get around 25 bucks for those. Not too bad there. Then I've got a pair of American Eagle. These are the skinny kick jeans, and they have like glitter on the back pockets. I don't even know if you could see that. Um, Tapered, skinny fit, but they have at least have the boot cut ends on them, which will help. I don't know. Again, probably in that same price range. Here's another pair of these are Levi's 515 boot cut, and all of these, I looked them over. You have to really be careful when you buy stuff down there. You got to look over everything. And, I give it a pretty good look over. The lighting's not great down there. But when I go to list everything, obviously I'll wash and go through everything and see if there's any stains or holes or whatnot. So there's going to likely be a few items that are busts completely that I'll have to donate or whatever back. All right, next up I got this Wind River. I'm sure it's not a great brand, but I really like the look of it, this flannel. This will be a good fall piece with these colors. And oddly enough, it seemed to have a little bit of value. So I don't know much about that brand, but I don't seek that out, but should be all right. All right, next up is another pair of Athleta. Same kind of style as the other ones. They're the same type of material, zip pockets, and these ones I know, again, I've sold these in that $20, $25 range. Next I have, these are Judy Blue, some black cropped raw hem jeans. There's the logo on the back, if you can see that all right. And Judy Blue does okay for me, and it does have a little something on there I'm going to have to wash out, but that looks like it'll come out no problem. So Judy Blue does okay. It can be 20-ish dollars on most of their stuff, it seems like for me. 20, 25 maybe. Here is a J. Jill, and these are the boyfriend cut jeans, cropped, it looks like maybe, or just a small size. Yeah, size 8, just a small size. Good condition. J. Jill, another brand that's, decent bread and butter. Next, I got these Nike Pro Combat leggings or workout pants, And usually the Nike stuff always does good for me when I get it down there. Here is, I was kind of surprised with this one. It's a hoodie. It's the Gruden's, I guess, tool company. I don't know. I looked it up. It's I'm not sure, but it is branded Gruden's. And the hoodies actually had some value to them. I was kind of surprised. I saw these exact one for like 25 bucks. So that'd be great. Then I found this brand I've sold a couple times too, and I think it's just carrots. I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it. It's the way it looks, and it does have a carrot. But these are like equestrian riding pants. You can see the suede leather inside, sewn on the legs, and back portion here for riding. Small size, but some of the equestrian stuff, I was surprised how much I've gotten for that when I found it at the bins. People pass on it, and I've done pretty well on it from whenever I find it. Next up, I got this Purdue. Looks like more of a vintage, or it's an older piece. I don't think it's not made in U.S. I don't believe. No, it's not made in U.S. But older tag, sweatshirt. Purdue's, of course, a popular college, so should do all right on that. Next up, just this Columbia fleece quarter button pullover. Not bad, pretty nice. I got this Banana Public Grant Fit, and surprisingly, the Grant Fit shirts actually had a little bit of value. Again, there's a lot of them listed, so it may take a bit to sell, but with that color pattern and stuff, even if I got, again, happy $15, $18 for something like that would be great. Let's see, next we have a North Face hoodie, women's, and nothing special, but it does have, at least has a logo right there on it, if you can see it. And women's small, but not bad. I was kind of surprised to find these. I kind of missed the first wave of people into the bins. Sometimes it's hard to get in there and fight your way in when there's enough people. But these are Viore shorts, like trunks. They're unlined, but they look to me, they look like women's with a drawstring. I saw that little logo on the back there. And these are probably good for around 20, somewhere around there, 25 maybe. Then I found this Vineyard Vines, and it's not a performance one, but it's a quarter zip. It's a small size. It's a medium, but quarter zip. These do okay. I wouldn't run out of my way to get them, but grabbing them at the bins, that'll work for me. Then I found these Marmot pants, and these look like men's. First time I've actually found Marmot jeans, and surprisingly found them at the bins. They had a little something on them that I'm going to have to wash out, and I can't remember where it is. I thought I saw a little bit of, there's a little white spot on the back. I don't know if it'll come out right there, but anyway, they're nice jeans. I might even keep them for myself if they fit. All right, that was it for the clothes. And for the hats, we got this black diamond hat. And I usually do pretty well with black diamond stuff. Got this North Face hat, just a winter beanie. Usually do okay on those. This is a Nike, and it's a Rolex Kentucky 3-day event. I don't know, but my son found it, looked it up, and it had some pretty good value. Surprisingly enough, we found a few hats that are Rolex hats. and I sold one for like 75 bucks. I was kind of surprised. Then I got this Colorado State Rams. This is Under Armour hat. This one is Kapalua hat. I guess like, I don't know, Hawaii Island hat, something like that. Nice condition anyway. And I got this. Some of these hats I'm going to have to do a little bit of cleanup on. This is a Arizona hat. Yeah, clean inside, but it's got. I always look at the the brim, and if I have to clean that. But this has a little bit of some cleaning on the outside as well. I'm going to have to do. And then a Patagonia hat. Somebody put some kind of hat pin on there, but I know there's a lot of fakes out there on these, but this looks like it's a legitimate hat. I don't see any signs otherwise. It does have the Patagonia tag inside, so I believe it's legit. And then this Penn State hat, women's. This is some, I think like California Angels minor league or something hat. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. But my son looked it up, and it did have some value, so we kept it. And this was one of the early finds I found. I was really surprised with this. This Ford, and it's a Dixon hat. I didn't know Dixon even made hats. I've never found them before, but you can see that. Pretty cool with the flannel bill on that. And I looked this up quickly, and it seems like around a $25 hat. May sit for a bit, but pretty cool. And then my son found this Disney, like Mickey Mouse Disney hat, Walt Disney branded, and he said it had some value too. I don't know. Again, I'll look. It looks like it has a battery pack in it and it lights up. Maybe I guess these ears light up. So I'll have to test that. But anyway, pretty neat on that. All right. Let's grab all the hard goods, and I'll show you what we got there. All right, so on the hard goods, we'll go through this stuff. There's just a lot of random stuff as usual. Got this LG water filter, still sealed. Got this Dymo tape, still sealed. And these aren't worth a lot, but easy to ship, lightweight, no big deal on those. Found this Camelback, what do you call them? The thermal, the hoses, the water hoses for the Camelback packs. Got a calculator. This is a TI, Texas Instruments 30X2S with the case. Not a lot there. Got this Skill branded battery charger for tools and whatnot. That actually had a little bit of like around $20 value when I was looking it up. Got this Harley Davidson, pretty neat. It's the 95th anniversary, like a trading card set, and it has both packs are sealed in there in this tin. I think it was showing up for about $20 on that. Then just a Ray-Ban glass case. I get these and save them, so when I do, usually eventually I'll find a pair of Ray-Ban glasses and I'll just put it in the case, and because otherwise the case isn't worth much, maybe like $5 or something. Found these, I think you pronounce that Schlage, these lock sets, and they appear to be sealed, new. And when I was looking these up, there was a little bit of variation to the different models, but it looked like around $25. I saw some a little higher and some a little less, but it looks like average around $25, $30 on these. I just need to make sure that they have not been opened and any of the pieces are missing, but it looks as though they are complete. And I got two of them. I don't know where the other one. Oh, yeah, here's the other one. They're both like antique brass, I believe, finished. And so hopefully I can get like 20 bucks each on those. Let's see. Then I found these JBL earbuds. Gosh, the lighting's not great. And they're both in there. So hopefully those work. I'll have to test them. And then also, let's see, you got this Bose, and I can't even remember off the top of my head. It's a little charger of some sort, and I've sold this before. I just can't remember exactly what it's for, but it is a decent seller and it sells quick. I'll just have to do a little research, but I know that one. I've sold it before. A Sony remote, and this is perfect timing because I do have another Blu-ray player I need to pair this with. I always like to pair the remote with the player, and then I get, you know, like $10, $15 more for the combo set of them both, you know, together anyway. Then I found these like antique feeler gauges, and they are kind of hard to see, but they are like that in these metal tin cases. And I found two of them. This one's in the metal case, and this one's in a plastic case. And they have a brand name on them. And I was trying to look them up at the bends. Oh, there they came out, but they're on this little hinge. But they actually had some value. And one that I saw had sold for like $40, $50. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to research these, but they're definitely older and they're interesting to me. So I grabbed them. And I got some random tools. I got this Irwin speed bore set, just some paddle bits. They look to be new. And this rigid pipe cutter, actually, like for cutting copper and different pipe. I actually thought I was just going to keep it for myself, but I have one of these already, so I guess I'll sell it. And I found these old, let's see what this brand is on this. These old bottle or can openers. This one's definitely old. Made in USA, master opening. I'll have to get my glasses, but that's it there. It says made in USA, and it has this little hook on the end for like popping the tops on the. Definitely old, a little rusty, but hopefully I can kind of brush it off and see if I didn't even look it up. I thought it was just cool. And then here's another one they were together. This is the same brand actually. A little can opener, twist top can opener. And then found these Nike glass frames. I don't even know if the logo's on there, but it's hard to see. And they had some crazy thick lenses in them. I just popped them out. I'm just going to sell these as the frames only, and hopefully I can. Some of the Nike frames, when I was doing research on them, had some really good value. All right, and then I got this Bose headphone case. I wish the headphones were in there, but they're not. It did come with it has like a little manual in there and this other little adapter in there. So hopefully it's worth a little bit. Then I got this Game Boy Advance carry case. Again, I was hoping there'd be some games or something in it, but obviously wouldn't get that lucky. But it is complete, and I imagine it's got a little bit of value being Nintendo branded. All right. Then I got this little Canon battery charger. And these, again, they're not worth a bunch usually on their own, but usually I'll find a camera that needs a charger, and so I can usually bundle it with that. So a lot of times I'll just save these until I find a camera or a battery pack that needs it. And right now I do have a Canon camera that it might work for, I'm hoping. Next I got this Weber propane bottle cover. I don't know who would ever really want to put a cover on their propane bottle, but I guess it looks cool and you can show off the Weber brand. It's kind of, the box is messed up, but it is brand new in there. It looks like it's never been out of there. So it surprisingly had a little bit of value, like around 15-20 bucks. So I'll have to just double check that and make sure it's good to go. Then I got these, some of my other videos, if you watch from the bins, I find these electric blanket and these electric blanket controllers, or whatever type of electronic controller. Usually they're electric blanket, but some are the other variations for different sleeping mattresses and whatnot. This is a Sunbeam, and my son looked up the particular model, and it was like a $25 item with a decent sell-through. That's the key too, because some of them have a really good sell-through, and that you can sell them. Like the last couple I had, I sold them within like a week for $20-25, and this one had a good sell-through, so hopefully that'll move quickly. All right, and then next I got this iRobot charging station, and I looked this up too. It did have some value. It looks like it's really new. It just has this plastic piece still on there covering it, so I'll pull that off. But I when I checked it out, this model actually had some pretty good value, around 25 bucks just for the charger. And you know, a lot of times people lose the chargers and whatever, so it's good to sell those individually. And then next I got this Jabra headphone set, and my son was surprised to see that this hack, he looked it up, and it had a good value and a good sell-through again. So when we talk in sell-through, if you don't know, you search for your item on eBay and look at how many are listed, and then you filter to how many sold, and that kind of gives you an idea, you know, how many are listed versus how many is sold. So it's really the demand of the product and how quick it could potentially sell. eBay does like within 90 days, if I'm not mistaken, a 90-day window that they have this data in. So you can basically understand within a certain amount of days, realistically, that how much time it would take to sell something, or at least what the demand is for the item. Next up, got this Titleist head cover, and I know I've sold this same exact one a few times. It does have the tag on it. They're not worth much, but if 10 to 15 bucks usually is what I get for those, depending on the model. And that was it for those. Now for the shoes, we got some Reef flip-flops. These are pretty good because they have the bottle opener on the bottom, and Reef is a pretty expensive shoe to buy new. So generally I'll sell these, and they'll sell pretty quick, especially this time of the year. Got these women's Ultras, and this is I think a pretty good model. I didn't actually look this up, but I've done well with Ultra. And the main thing is to look for any kind of wear on the bottom. If they're really worn, this has a little bit on the outer edges, but if they're really worn, may not be worth your time. This one, I'm guessing I'll probably get about 25, somewhere around there, 25, 30 bucks. Then I found these crazy Alabama shoes. I don't know, I can't tell, they're not branded, but they have the Alabama logo all over the bottom. And so they're really cool. They're brand new. You can tell they've never been worn. I don't know if they're worth anything, but Alabama has such a huge following. I figured, they don't weigh a whole lot. I'll just grab them. Then I got these little youth. I don't normally get youth shoes very often, but I saw these little Nike youth shoes, and I thought they were pretty cool. And they're really, really not in bad shape at all. Just got to do a light cleanup on the bottom, but the rest is good shape, so probably worth a little bit. Then last got these Salomon, and these are the X Ultra. I don't know, they're actually a Gore-Tex. And anytime you see Gore-Tex on shoes, you need to pay attention to that, because Gore-Tex normally commands more money on the resale. And again, check the bottoms. These have a little bit of wear on them, just on this outer edge. Like that you can see a little bit of wear on this outer edge on that. This one has the same kind of wear, but hasn't quite gotten into the gotten through it. So I don't know, that'll hurt the value, but still, normally Solomon is a good shoe to sell. And with Gore-Tex, I'm just guessing probably like 30 bucks on them, but you know, that's just a guess on it. If any of this stuff had some decent comps, I'll throw them up there just to show you what I found. All right, well, that was what I got. And again, you know, it's a lot of random stuff, but 60 items or so. And once I filter through everything, there may be a couple things that are no good. But overall, pretty good haul for the one trip. This will give me quite a few things to list in between the rest of the stuff I have around the house to list. So it's always a good deal to go down there and fight your way through the crowd. There was a pretty busy at times and hard to get in at times. And it's funny because they tell people, I hope I have some video footage of it, but they tell people to walk up to the band, and people still like literally like jog up there. Normally the people working there will tell them, walk. They'll back them out. Sometimes they'll make them miss the rotation completely. I've seen that happen too. But you know, people, if they just walked and were just civil with each other, it'd be a lot easier. But you got to fight your way in there, and you got to really dig and move around quickly. And it's kind of it's a lot of work, honestly, for me and my son. We were down there for probably, it was about 3 or 4 hours, something like that. About 4 hours, I guess, by the time it's said and done. But good amount of stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching today. I definitely appreciate if you like and subscribe. If you have any comments on any of the stuff, or you sold this stuff, I'd be curious to see what you've gotten for it, or if it's an item that, you know, may be worth my time or worth your time or anybody else's time to sell. Appreciate knowing that. So it's a learning experience for me all the time. So thanks for joining me today. We'll see you again on the next video. Take care.